Wow, another fire nihility character. How original, Hoyo. MORTENAX Blade's kit is so simple that it makes him a little complicated to build. Before I get into it, you can either build him purely as a support with sub DPS capabilities or as a main DPS. Now of course, just like any other character, and whether you want to build MORTENAX as a support or a DPS, his signature light cone is going to be his absolute best in slot, as it offers high base HP, more HP percent stats, a 30% crit damage buff to your entire team, and an additional 30% crit damage to Blade himself. And the most important part is that it regenerates 20 energy at the start of each wave, which is essential for Blade activating his ultimate on his very first turn. For supportive light cones, you can either use Cypher's signature on him, as it gives plenty of speed and tons of defense reduction. Tutorial is also a good option, since Blade is a character that wants to spam ults to do damage or to have his ult up to quickly re-enter his enhanced state, but it's likely that your tutorial light cone is already being used by another nihility character like Kafka. Lastly, we have the Battle Pass nihility light cone Holiday Thermae Escapade and Pearls. These two light cones perform almost similarly, but the Battle Pass one offers a little more personal damage, higher debuff uptime, and lesser EHR requirements, while Pearls requires more EHR if it's not at S5. These two cones are the last resort, since building EHR on Blade will take away rolls to more offensive stats like HP percent and crit. Finally, for DPS Blade, there aren't too many great options aside from his sig. Acheron's signature is a no-brainer for big DPS as a nihility character. Aside from that, S5 Boundless Choreo and S5 Goodnight Sleep Well should be pretty close in performance. For relics, his best in slot for general use will be the new Divine Querying Master Smith set, as it is tailor-made for MORTENAX Blade. However, since this is a new set and you'll likely not have any good pieces yet, alternative relic sets include Longevous Disciple or Pioneer of Dead Waters. Besides those sets though, you can of course run the infamous 4-piece Eagle set on him too. As for planar ornaments, his best in slot as of right now for generous purpose is Bone Collection. However, you can also use Lushaka if you pair him with attack scaling DPSs, or Von Whack if you're using 4-piece Eagle. For main stats, Blade mainly wants a crit rate body, speed boots, and as for the orb and rope, HP percent and damage percent orb perform similarly, so go with whichever one has higher substat. However, HP percent will be better if you want Blade to tank more damage. Similarly with the rope, HP percent will help with Blade survivability if you run him as a pseudo sustain, but depending on substats again, you can either pick HP percent or energy rope. His substat priority is speed up until a certain breakpoint, preferably 141, crit rate and crit damage, then lastly HP percent. For stat goals, aim for at least 80% crit rate for Blade, since he gives himself 20% for free, and get as much crit damage as you can, 141 speed and 5000 HP if you're using 2-piece Bone Collection on him. Oh boy, this is gonna take a while. MORTENAX Blade is so universal that he can be played in almost any team except specialized teams like Break or Elation. So long as you have any DPS like Archer, Finon, Deherda, Anaxa, Fei Xiao, Yun Li, Argenti, you name it, he will be a good option. However, the two main characters that Blade will be the most suitable for are Acheron and Ashvale. Just like Blade, Ashvale is a follow-up attack DPS with crazy debuffs, which pairs perfectly with Blade's crazy debuffs, making them a core foundation of the new generation of follow-up attack teams. As for Acheron, Blade is the combination of E2 Silverwolf's ult generation for Acheron and Jiao Qiu if he could debuff properly. Acheron teams and Ashvale teams are where Blade currently shines the brightest, but realistically he can go almost anywhere. And since Blade consumes his HP to attack, you'll need good healers like Hyacinth. Shielders like DHPT generally aren't recommended. Niche teams include replacing Cyrene in Mono Rem, being the pseudo sustain in a premium dot team, or even being paired with Welt as a pseudo sustain debuffing duo. For vertical investments, you should prioritize getting Blade's Eidolons before his signature. His E2 is disgusting when paired with the Ashvale and is by far one of the biggest DPS jumps for any E2 in the game ever. Next is his E1, which has the classic all-type res pen similar to Robin's E1 and also comes with the added benefit of extending the duration of his zone created from his ult. Once you've achieved E2, only then can you consider getting his signature light cone. That's all for this simple MORTENAX guide video. If you have any questions or want to see me cover any more characters in the future, leave them down in the comments below and I'll see you guys later.